Smells delicious, baby.
It's ramen.
잘 먹겠습니다, honey. Thank you for cooking. That's good corn chowder, honey. bad days.
I'm sorry for keep making things very simple.
Oh, you made this delicious curry.
잘 먹겠습니다.
Thank you for cooking, honey. Wow, nice. Smells delicious. So mix it all up. This is very good. What did you do to this?
Tablespoon of sugar, a little bit of vinegar, a lot of sesame oil.
That's fantastic.
Good egg.
Yes, man.
됐습니다.
Thank you for making breakfast, honey.
Oh,
What are we gonna do on this beautiful Sunday?
you tell me.
시선을 시작합니다.
Thank you.
잘 먹겠습니다,
잘
honey.
먹겠습니다.
Thank you for cooking. That looks amazing.
Do you want Kim?
I'm fine with what's here. This is really tasty soup. I usually don't like a lot of bean sprouts, but the broth is really nice.
I ate too much bean sprout. Just want to get use all of it.
I love the sauce, the ginger sauce in there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, you especially like this teriyaki sauce. It's just soy sauce and the ginger syrup.
It's very buttery.
It's all mozzarella. I didn't use butter.
I think whatever mozzarella you use is better than what we have in the States. I think people add it more for the
Starch.
they like to have like stringy, like it, you know, like I guess like the texture. But yeah, the flavor of that mozzarella is really good.
What point would you give for today's dinner? Honestly.
I'd say 9.3. If all it was this, like this is perfect, no need to change.
So this was 10?
This is 10, 9.5. This is good, but because it's like the rice and the beans, when I have like something like this, like I just want like plain white rice. And then this soup is really good, the broth is good, but there's just too many bean sprouts. I
여보,
just do like an average of everything.
man, you gotta eat a lot of bean. Don't you remember the
I
what was
understand.
that? Green zone?
I'm talking about just like pure taste basis.
You're never gonna get to plain white rice as long as you live it here.
And you're never gonna get a perfect 10. Check out. 잘 먹겠습니다, honey. Ready? So cute.
we don't have Tabasco, do we?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good jambalaya, baby.
This is gonna be our dinner as well. And tomorrow's lunch.
That's fine. My mom, I've sent her your video, but I don't know if she had watched it or not, but I think Erin's visiting. And so she sent me a voice message by mistake, but I think that was because like she was trying to click on the video and maybe hit the mic button instead. But she watched the video and she said, "Wow, lucky Mike, such beautiful food and smells good too." So I laughed. She said, "Glad to hear the video is doing so well. It should. She put so much hard work into it." So she sent a little cute little. So.
Well, we already talked about this before, but I want to make sure that Boom is happy that you are with me since I took you away from.
She absolutely is. She